Salutations, Dufoes. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another special presentation. Man, oh man, I have a presentation for you guys today. I have been doing these interviews that I really call conversations because they are just moments with other creatives who are mavericks in their own right. And we come together, we learn a little bit about each other, we share a little light with each other, and we go throughout the rest of our day. And having said that, I have someone that you need to meet. You probably might know him already. He's known. Let's just say it like that. He's known. But I'm gonna do just a little introduction on him right now. He's a rock, pop, soul music artist. He characterizes himself as a dreamer, a vessel, and a free spirit. For his work, he is also a Grammy contender. He delivers to us as a creative music, videos, and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to say hello to Alonzo.
Hi.
Hi, Alonzo. I wanted to start it after we did what we just did because I wanted you to explain what we just did. When we came on the screen, you know, there's always that moment before we record, and you were getting yourself together, you were getting yourself ready, and you asked me, could we have a mindful moment? Please explain what that is.
So mindful minute is literally just 60 seconds of, you know how people be like, I need a minute. It's consciously doing that. And often, you know, we have so much going on. I literally just rushed in from the gym and we got other things to do today. But my goal throughout the day is to always be present in every moment. A lot of people believe in taking things one day at a time. I believe in taking things one moment at a time because a lot can happen in a day. And so at this moment, I wanted to make sure that we set our intentions and we ground our energy into this present moment so I can be with you.
I must say that that is so beautiful because what I find about artistry, especially with recording artists, is that personality is something that gets lost in the publication of the artist. So when I see an artist such as yourself, who has many accomplishments that we're going to talk about, but yeah, we're going to talk about them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but when I see an artist able, within the machine, within all that is going on, to still take a moment for self-care and to invite other people to take a moment for self-care, it blows my mind. And I'm gonna tell you why. It makes me emotional. Right now, I'm battling COVID. I didn't leave my house. This is why my voice is so low. I've been sick for the last 5 days, and what my grandmother's 74, I'm going to be 40 this year. Like I said, we didn't leave our house. I have nephews. My 20-year-old nephew and his girlfriend went to work, and there was an outbreak at their job. And before it was contained, they came home to us and they brought COVID to us in our house. And Alonzo, it has been so bad because it's not just COVID. It was also symptoms of the flu. So it took so much out of me. And I rescheduled every single interview, and I have been doing that for 5 days straight. But today, I was so excited about our interview. And then in that excitement, I want people to understand how powerful our minds are. I anticipated this interview. I would not reschedule. I would not reach out to your team and ask for another time because I wanted to do it. And today is the first day that mind over matter, I was able to start to feel like myself.
Mm,
I don't sound like myself, but
yeah.
I'm feeling better. And, after this, I'm going to lay down and I'm going to continue my healing regimen. But I just want to say thank you, because when you said, can we have that mindful minute? I closed my eyes and I literally said to the divine, please let me get through this.
Yeah.
Please let me get through this.
Yeah.
So I want to take you back to the beginning. I know that you are based in Los Angeles.
Well, before you get there, first of
Yes,
all,
go ahead.
I want to say you look good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You look good, girl. You're glowing. And that is first of all, I just recovered from COVID too.
Yes,
I had COVID from
saw
Christmas.
that.
And so just showing up for ourselves is the first part. And I just want to honor you for that too. And even if you wanted to reschedule, I would have been down.
Oh,
But we are here for a purpose right now. And so thank you.
no, my pleasure. I am a chronic workaholic. I see this from you as well. You're a very hard worker, Alonzo.
Really.
And I think that is the plight of the creative, is that, for me, I know it's my drug of choice.
Mm-hmm.
I work and I work and I work and I work, and I don't stop. I
Mm,
won't stop until the last breath is expounded from this body.
yeah.
And it actually helps me to feel better when
Mm-hmm.
I'm working. So I couldn't reschedule this. I needed this energy. You
Mm,
started it. And that's why I was like, okay, before you tell me, let me hit record, because I wanted you to know you started off this conversation on a very high note.
mm,
And I feel the energy in the room. I feel my ancestors. I feel the divine. I feel all
mm,
the support that we both need
yeah.
to deliver and create something that will be useful, not just to us, but to
Mm.
everyone who sees this in about 10 minutes after it's done, because I don't play around.
Hey, you be on it.
Yeah, I'm on it. And thank you for saying that I look good, because I don't feel good, but I always pray that prayer. Thank you, God, that in my almost 40 years, I don't
Mhm.
look like what I've been through.
Girl, I'm gonna tear up this house.
Oh, Lord. No, wait, don't do it. So let's start. Like I said, I know that you're based in LA, as most serious artists are.
Mhm.
But where did young Alonzo grow up? Where did you come from?
So I am from a small town. I was born in Chicago,
Okay.
but really young, we moved to Rockford, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half from Chicago. But it's a small town, but it's still a pretty rough place because it is, I want to say, the second largest city in the state,
Yeah.
but it has just as much crime as
Mm,
Chicago.
mm,
And so for the last decade, Forbes has been publishing this place as in the top 10 most dangerous cities in this country. And so little old me came up in Rockford, Illinois. And um, you know, speaking of all these different accomplishments that I'm so grateful for, it's not very likely for a Black man um, to come from that place and do the things that I've done. And so it's been really important for me to spread this message of hope and this message of resilience. And that is what my story has been. But I love Rockford. That's my hometown, and they got my heart forever. And I'm gonna always give back.
yes, I actually saw another interview that you were doing on a little known show. And I say little known show because it wasn't a little known show. But anyway, you mentioned something about how Black men are always told that they have to be strong. Can you,
Mhm.
can you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, not just we'll get to the Black men, but overall, Black people have been groomed to be strong.
Yeah.
throughout history, you know, we weren't, if we showed weakness, we weren't valuable.
Mm-mm.
And this is why through these intergenerational traumas, through time, we have developed this strong Black woman
Mhm.
and strong Black man.
Mhm.
And even I, coming up, I always wanted to display my strength to prove that I was still a man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have the deepest voice, you know, I'm a very soft-spirited guy, but back in the day, I was, I act the fool in a minute, you know what I mean? But it was always to let them know that, yeah, I'm about that life and da 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 da. And so coming into my the end of my 20s, and I'm 30 now, I'll be 31 in March,
Yeah.
I have realized that there's power in vulnerability.
Mhm.
And so it's been really important for me to spread this message to other Black men that when you allow yourself to feel your emotions, you're actually stronger.
Yeah.
You're actually a better human being. You're a better father. You're a better son. You are more productive to a more productive citizen to the community, you know? And I use the example of Barack Obama. Are we going to say that that is not a real man
Right.
because of his heart? And he is one of the most beloved people on the planet, aside from the people that be talking crazy. We're talking about the character of the human being.
Yeah.
He is one of the most beloved people on the planet. And that is a perfect example of someone that leads with their heart. We've seen him cry. He takes care of his daughters. And so it's been really important for me. And that's just one of many examples, but it's just really important for me to spread this message that Black men, we can cry, we
Yes.
can feel. And despite our upbringing that says, stop that crying, wipe those tears, you got to be strong, you better toughen up and man up, everything is about balance.
Yeah.
And when you can feel your emotions, you can use them more productively.
Yes. I thought you were going to say something else. That's why I didn't chime right in after you stopped talking. No, but
I could keep going because ooh.
don't worry, I'll get you talking. No, but you are right. And I want to stay there just for a second because you're right. You don't have the deepest voice. But today, you're a consummate singer and performer. You see?
Mhm.
So I don't have the deepest voice other than now. I don't have the deepest voice either. I've made music before, just a little bit, not on your level, just a little.
Oh, I need to go check that out.
Oh God, don't even waste your time. You're a Grammy contender. Let's just say it like that. But
No
no,
doubt.
I know it was like you're speaking of, and it's sad because a lot of Black people, like you said, not just Black men, but Black women and children, we all share similarities in our experience. And it's that you got to toughen up and you can't cry. And one thing that was always pushed into my head, stop that loud talking. You got
Mm,
that high, shrill voice. Stop
mm,
that screaming. You sound like a girl.
mm,
Pipe down.
mm,
You're bringing too much attention. And the thing was, I'd be screaming while I was outside playing.
mhm.
So I'm playing, and in a moment of exhilaration, I'd scream. And
Yeah,
most of the time I was being chased. We were playing games,
yeah,
and it's kind of crazy, but in the hood, we do a lot of games where we're cops and robbers,
yeah,
where we're predators and we chase each other. And
yeah,
there's all kinds of screaming that happens. And I played with girls and boys, and we was playing the same game.
yeah.
So, but I heard that all of my life. Like I said, I'm 39, I'll be 40 this year in September. I'm a Libra. And I remember the bullying being so bad that my family had to move me. I
Mhm.
remember my grandmother making the sacrifice and saying, I can't have him here or they're going to kill my baby,
Yeah.
and moving me to the suburbs. And what I want people to understand is when I moved to the suburbs, the torment didn't stop.
Yeah.
I was around Caucasians. The actual physical violence stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the banter, it was actually worse.
Trauma, yeah.
Because, yes, because these people were quote unquote top in education and in
Mhm.
verbiage and knowing how to use their vernacular to, you know, sting and when they didn't use their fist. And it
Mhm.
was worse. I was bullied badly. But as I got older, my grandmother, when I first started my journey as a creative, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for real. She would say to me, you can't change your voice.
Mhm.
You can't change it.
Yeah.
And it makes me go back to a memory that I had at 8 years old in the hood. I was
Mhm.
walking down the street and I was singing to myself because that's what I did when my mother was on drugs and my father was absentee and mental illness. I sang to myself. And I remember asking the divine, please never let my voice change because I like it. And that prayer was answered. I'm 40, I'll be 40. I'm a countertenor, I'm a mezzo soprano. And
Mhm.
it's always been that way. So tell me, are you an only child growing up? Were you an only child growing up?
No, I got a little brother.
You got a little brother.
Well,
So
we
just
call him my little big brother because he like way bigger than me.
okay. Yes.
But yeah, that's my younger brother. He's 3 years younger than me.
Okay. How was the dynamic of you two growing up where you had to be hard? Did you guys have each other's back a lot?
So my brother and I are complete opposites.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I was into the arts, um, super expressive.
Yeah.
My brother was a product of that environment.
Okay.
And so he was a leader in one of the biggest gangs.
Right.
He he was in and out of jail and different things. But as a result, because he was so respected, nobody was gonna mess with me.
That was my next question.
Yeah. And I really appreciated that because he still protected and loved his big brother. And he and I didn't always get along because he kind of stressed my mom out,
Yeah.
and I don't play about my mom.
Yeah.
And even though I speak of her like she ain't both of our mom, it's like, he would really stress her out. And so I would be really upset with him in moments where she was overwhelmed because he was doing the things that he was doing. But since we have been able to really repair our relationship and kind of start to get to know the adult versions of us. But one thing I do remember about growing up was that nobody was going to mess with him.
Yeah.
And so nobody messed with me because and it's funny, the little brother would protect the big brother. Um,
I had that too.
yeah. And so I appreciated that for sure.
And also, nobody was going to bother your mother.
That.
You see,
Mhm.
even though he's putting her through hell, nobody
Yeah,
was going to run up on her and bother her.
ever. And
So,
to this day, he is like that man. He ain't never lost a fight.
oh,
He one of them.
he wanted
Everybody
them.
know him. Yeah.
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 So, fast forward, you're in the arts, you're expressive, you've got a beautiful singing voice. When did you decide, I want to do this professionally and I need to make a move?
So, we talk about trauma within the voice.
Yes.
And it's so funny that, and just I've heard several other stories about people that have gone through this type of thing.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest mentors, Justin Michael Williams, he had the same thing. And what happened was subconsciously we all went through this trauma
Yes.
in regards to speaking and singing and whatever else. His trauma was that somebody in choir class or the choir teacher asked who wanted to take the solo. He shot his hand up, and when he sang to try to get the solo, the whole class laughed at him. So he hid his voice for all these years. Fast forward to now, this man speaks around the world. He speaks to companies. He is like a trailblazer in
Yes.
the mindfulness community, and he happens to be a man of color, a gay man of color.
Yeah.
And so same regard to us, where and I'll just speak for myself that I I went through a lot of trauma in regard to, one, my voice was too high. And this was just speaking,
Yeah.
put some bass in your voice is what they would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And then singing, it was, oh, he sing like an old lady. And all of these different things. And it's just so crazy that we subconsciously, it kind of put all of these doubts, but look where we are now. We are using our voices. And so to answer your question, before I even got to music, I was a dancer. My whole first half of my life.
Mhm.
I always loved to sing, but I hid my voice for years. And I became a really well-known dancer. I started a dance crew sophomore year of high school. That dance crew went on to become semifinalists on America's Got Talent. And to the community, I was going to be the next Debbie Allen or Alvin Ailey. Like, I was a very well-known dancer.
Yes.
And although proud of that, there was a moment when we were on America's Got Talent that we were speaking about dreams. And we're talking about, like, you got to fight for your dreams. They do the interviews before you go on stage, and we're like, we're from this place, but you got to fight for your dreams. And I'm talking about this. And I just remember thinking, you're lying to millions, because you're telling everybody to fight for their dreams and you're not fighting for your real dream. My dream has always been to sing. Somehow I created this success for one of my other gifts, which was great, but I wasn't being like fulfilled by it.
Mhm.
I was releasing, and I think that's why dance really worked out for me, because I would dance so hard. I had so much to get out,
Yeah.
but I wasn't being filled. When I sing, it is something that's happening deeper. And so, long story short, after America's Got Talent, that is when I said, all right, forget what everyone has to say. I'm going to pursue music full time. And they kind of had a point. A lot of times people would say, okay, you want to be a singer, sing something. And I would sing, but when you're nervous, you can't breathe.
Mm-mm.
You need breath to sing.
Mhm.
So when I would sing for people, I would be shaky, sounding a mess. They'd be like, baby, please just keep dancing. But it was planting all of this doubt and insecurity on my voice. So I just hid it. And here I am all these years. When you think of like Grammy contender, I'm like, you have no idea that I would have never did this. I was so scared. And um, it's just a testament to how we can rewrite our stories.
Mhm.
Because now in LA, back home, it was, oh my God, you can sing. Here, if I bust out one dance move, they're like, wait a minute, you know how to dance? Because everyone knows me as a singer.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? So that's so funny because I started my career many, many years ago, 17 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
as a because I've been in the business for 20 years, but I have always taken the high road because for me as a Libra, like I'm a Libra, but I'm a Libra Sun Aquarius Moon. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like ownership of me being given to anyone else. So my
Mm-hmm.
attitude was I had a lot of things in place. Tried out for American Idol. They got mad at me. I walked away from that. Very reputable record company in New York. I walked away from
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
A&R, all of that, all of those things. But I started my career as a voiceless model in Paris, androgynous and
Mm-hmm.
walking and being seen and just being dressed and
Mm-hmm.
not, and my thing was I thought it was what I wanted because I chased it here in America.
Yeah.
And then when I got to France, it wasn't what I wanted.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And I've never told people that because I am still in the fashion community. But I always, being androgynous, I always did the women's things. They were always, I was up for this. My body is shaped that way. I have on a dress now, androgyny, face and everything. So that was okay there. So I
Yeah.
was being accepted for the first time. Like you said, it was a got talent moment.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, if you understand what you just said, a
Yeah.
got talent moment.
Mhm.
So I turn around and I'm there and I'm being praised and this and that. And I'm in my head going, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I came all the way over here on a one-way ticket and I'm not staying. Like I'm getting out of here.
Mm.
Only to meet fashion editors and people. And they say to me, you have an ability to write, and
Mm.
not just to write, you give voice to your words.
Mm.
Everything about you speaks.
Mm.
So you can't just be silent.
You can't keep it to yourself.
Exactly. And I remember coming back, and I've been working the last 17 years to build this empire that I could control, to take back to Europe, especially Paris. And I've been reaching out to the people I met there, some of my acquaintances, they're famous. And
Mm-hmm.
now, and you know, it's going well, but I find it to be, it's not deja vu, but I find it to be imperative
Mm.
that even when we are chasing our dreams, we are making sure they are what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, being a creative, and like I said, you're a hard worker. So, most artists of your caliber are perfectionists. So, it
Mm.
didn't matter if you were dancing or shuffling a floor, you were going to be the best dancer or the best floor shuffler ever seen. And that's
My
where
thoughts exactly.
yes, that's what people get it wrong, because it's like, baby, I can do a lot of things.
Yep.
My heart, my passion, what makes me feel alive, that is what I need to be doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't decide, that was 2005. I decided in 2008 to unleash my voice. And I did it on YouTube. And I'll never forget, I gained, and that was the thing. I was kind of an up and coming, so I didn't have monumental numbers and things like that, but I met everybody I needed to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are still in my career today. They're producers, they're, you know, they image consultants, they do all of that with me now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Even though I could still model, I still get asked. I find myself more so trying to, in fashion, bring in the narrative of the Black and Latin man and having him not be a stick figure. You know,
Yeah.
our bodies are more athletic, and they don't design for that. I remember being in Paris and they told me flat out, we're not going to sign you because we don't have a Black market here. Black people don't wear our clothes.
Wow.
They said Black and Asian people, but they said to me, oh, you have a great smile, keep smiling, something will happen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
fast forwarding to in your story. So you decide, okay, after Got Talent, I'm going to LA. I'm going to be there. What was that move like?
Um, well, before I came to LA, I actually went overseas myself. um, America's Got Talent was 2011. 2012, the team did one more tour. And 2013, I left to China. And I went on to headline 4 of my own sold out tours in Asia from 2013 to 2017. And so in the middle of that, I was doing really well at the time, and I was able to save up enough money in 2015 to move to LA. But yeah, I went overseas too, and the thing is that I'm so grateful for it, because when you can go into a place where no one knows who you are. It kind of gives you a plain white canvas, like I said, to rewrite your own story. And so for me, I was in this community or in my hometown where everyone knew me for one thing. And they only wanted to put me in the box that they associated me with.
Yeah.
And which was still pretty insane because, you know, we're talking about a place where the top 3 employers are factory, the Rockford Public School system, and the healthcare system. That basically says that most likely you're going to be working at a factory, a doctor or a nurse. That's like what everyone does back home. So to go on and have a career in the arts was already unheard of, but I said, I got to get out of here. And so I went over to China, and that first tour, I kind of made a name for myself. So by the second tour, there were companies all over China literally trying to outbid each other for me to tour with their company for my second tour. And that's how my second, third, and fourth tour happened. And I was able to come here and kind of start fresh and create the artist that you're meeting today. And I think that is a testament to just us trusting our intuition. A lot of times I feel that we kind of get fear and intuition mixed up. Mm-hmm. And this is a teaching that I've learned from Justin Michael Williams as well. When you feel like that loud gut feeling, that anxiety in your stomach, you know, people like to say like, "Ooh, I felt it in my gut." Like it was just so strong. That's actually fear. Mm-hmm. Because intuition does not feel that way. Intuition is quiet. It is calm. It is clear. It is still. It's that voice in our head that says, now, you know, you need to do this, or turn right. I need you to do this. And the thing is we often ignore it because it's not loud. Mm-mm. But I've kind of been able to master being able to hear and listen to that little voice. And before I really learned this teaching, I didn't really understand it. But now I know that when I feel that gut, that loud voice, I walk right toward it. Yep. Because it's walking, if it's got anything to do with fear, I'm going at it. Yep. Because that is an indication to me that there is something to gain. There's something to be healed or overcome. And, you know, going to China was scary, to say the least. And I had some really crazy experiences over there, but it literally made me who I am today. And here I am in LA, still on the journey.
You know, when you're headlining your own tour, your own 4 tours, did you have music at that time?
It's just, it gets me every time because first of all, no.
Exactly.
I was singing covers. I started touring in 2013. I did not release my first single until 2019.
And your album came out in 2021.
Yep. And that was also fear, you know. I was kind of holding myself back because there was just so much, you know, a lot of times perfectionism can get in the way, and fear can kind of like freeze us. Yeah. Because we feel like I don't have enough money, it's not good enough, I don't have enough followers, so let me not just do anything at all. But when you get to the place that you don't seek the approval of man, you're going to do it whether there's 700 or 7,000. And that is when you are really in alignment with purpose and destiny, because you take the power back into your own hands. Yes. And that's been a big thing that I've been wanting to spread awareness about too, is like the power that we always have in our own hands. We always have the power. Yes. And before this whole social media age and I mean, just in general throughout life, we've always felt like we wanted things because other people had them, or we wanted the approval of something outside of ourselves. And that's just not how we move anymore. And I just, it's so important for me to just remind people of the power that we have in ourselves. You always have the power to do something different.
Yeah.
Say yes to something new. Say no to something that you don't want to deal with anymore. And like I said, I can go on and on about this stuff because I'm very passionate about it. But that's just been, my journey.
So you toured 4 tours and didn't have a single song out.
Not a single song. Sound like God to me.
Sound like God to me. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
4 tours.
Ain't that
Like,
crazy? It don't make no sense.
let me tell you something. You can't get, let me tell you, okay, I'm gonna be candid. I haven't put together 1 tour yet. And I got 4 albums.
Mm,
And one of my albums got 50 songs on it.
mm,
I
mm,
am a writing machine. When I tell you, I am a
mm.
writing machine. Not 1 tour.
50 songs.
Yes, I'll send you the links. You gonna,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you'll be that. My thing was, see, I'm grateful that an artist like you was given the spotlight, the opportunity. See, in fashion, we know this. An American model does better overseas, and a foreign model from Europe or those territories does better here.
Yep.
So when even record labels, when they're trying to make a name for you and they don't quite feel that you will at the present moment fit America's taste buds, they ship you to Europe.
Yep.
And what happens is you cut your chops in Europe, but you also get this,
Mhm.
because when you come back, you're going to need to spend this making yourself the right shape and frame for the American people. It's
Yeah.
going to require that. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I didn't know that about you. I've been, and I want to say something else too before I forget it. I knew you did something. I saw, honestly, one of the videos that I love the most of you, you walk, it's like TikTok. You
Mhm.
walk over to the camera's over there, and
Mhm.
you walk and you look, and then you start winding your waist, and it's like,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then you start, and I'm like, I was so lifted in the moment.
Mm.
It was a beautiful moment to see. And this is another thing that models don't realize. If you want to be a model, they love dancers to be models because dancers understand their bodies. They're
Yes.
comfortable. They're comfortable in their bodies. They feel every single fiber and asset of who they are. So
Mhm.
when they have to pose, it's just on point.
Yeah.
They know.
Mhm.
And I see that from you. And I saw it in that video, and I'm just like, I just, I know this is, but this is why I said that,
Mm.
because I was also on your page looking at some of your highlights,
Mhm.
and you were in a martial arts kind of like Doba
Mm.
situation. And I think it might have been for one of your videos,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you did,
Kings and queens.
a backflip, and
Mhm.
then went into a stance. And I'm like, okay, this person, he must practice martial arts.
Mhm.
Is it safe to say that? Do you practice martial arts?
Yeah, I do everything.
Yeah. Did you pick that up in China?
No, my grandfather was a black belt, and my mom competed in taekwondo and several competitions growing up. And so I kind of learned a lot from watching them actually. Now I'm more into boxing,
Okay.
but I don't like compete anymore or that
Mhm.
type of thing. But it's always been important for me to still involve fitness
Yeah.
in my body. But that video that you're speaking of was Kings and Queens, which is the first song on my album.
Yes.
And it was kind of embodying all the words that my grandfather used to speak to me. And so that martial arts was like a testament to him because he was that black man that only walks with his hands behind his back. He was always I never heard him yell my whole life, He always talked very calm, stood straight with his hands behind his back, but he was a black belt. So you just knew you bet not, because he'll flip your ass. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Like that's so you learn from watching them. And then with dance, are you classically trained dancer or
Yeah. So right before America's Got Talent, I was in college and my major was dance.
aha.
Yeah. And I dropped out of college
Mhm.
the second semester of my junior year.
Okay.
And it was right after America's Got Talent because we had just came from like traveling the world.
Right.
We were literally staying in penthouses in Planet Hollywood in Vegas. And I got back to the classroom and
Right.
was like, I gotta go. This ain't where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And so yeah, but I was a dance major, and I'm telling you, dance was my life. And my mom was also a dancer too. So it was
Yeah.
like I was following in her footsteps.
Yeah.
But I always had this voice. And
Yes.
yeah.
And you, like me, found the courage and the bravery because I am the same way you are. When you said, when you feel afraid, you rush right toward it.
Yeah.
When I feel afraid, I exercise bravery. I do it anyway.
Yep.
Nothing's going to fear, like cause
Gotta
me
do it afraid.
to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, my God, what was your mother's response to hearing? Because now we're going to move and talk about your amazing album released in 2021 called
Mhm.
Enough. It's called Enough,
Yeah.
and it is available on every streaming platform. And I want to know, because that was your debut. So,
Mhm.
what was your hometown's reaction to you finally using your voice?
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's kind of split.
Hmm.
There are a lot of people still in my hometown to this day that do not even know that I sing
Oh,
to this day.
they live under a rock.
Yeah, because that's what happens in a small town. Like
Hmm.
you only got those four walls
Hmm.
and the internet. And
Yeah,
if you're not following me on social media or my Facebook friend, all you're gonna have the last memory of me that you
yeah,
have.
right.
But there are a lot of people that, because there's been billboards put up in my hometown of me
Yeah.
promoting my singles and albums and things. And so Enough was a really healing moment for me
Mm.
because, like I say, we go from 2013 to 2019
Yeah.
of me never releasing music.
Hmm.
I recorded many songs that just never came out.
Hmm.
And then but mind you, I moved to LA in 2015
Yeah,
and still didn't release anything
I
until
know.
2019. I
Yeah.
was around the producers, I was around the opportunities,
Hmm.
but what was happening was that I just never thought that anything was enough.
Yeah.
I wasn't enough, my art wasn't enough, the writing wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I was always feeling like something was missing.
Hmm.
And the biggest thing that I try to do now is I always try to shift from self to service.
Yeah.
And so it went from me always feeling like I wasn't enough to wanting to remind other people that they are enough.
Yeah.
And that is why that was how the album began to come to life. And it took me 3 years to record that album,
Mm.
and I learned so much during that time. But mom, she is just, first of all, I'll be honest, mom would always, she really wanted me to go down that dance road because, as
Mm.
I said, she was a dancer.
Yeah.
And so, and she identifies dance as my first gift.
Yeah.
She always says that. And so when I would be having conversations with her about my music and what I want to do, she would say, well, you make sure you don't forget your first gift. It was as if she didn't even hear
Right.
that, And so long story short, through me pursuing it anyway, she has been able to see like, wow, my baby's really good.
Yes.
and he's serious about this. And now she's my biggest fan. She don't miss nothing. Child, you go on YouTube. First of all, she be up in there arguing with the people. People be commenting crazy stuff. She don't miss a beat. Somebody say something crazy to me, and I think she got some little profiles that I don't know about. So she is just so proud of her baby. And I told her, like, you're not gonna always be able to do that, you know, because the bigger I get, Mama Alonzo can't be out there acting crazy. But for now, I ain't that famous, so get their ass together if you need to.
Lies, 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 because you are definitely one of LA's brightest stars. And I say that because there's a story there, you know? And it's always, why is it always this way? Why is it always the ones that doubt themselves are the ones that are the greatest at what they do? You are one of the greatest that I have ever heard sing. And I'm going to say something about that. My vocal coach, when I was getting ready to sign to a little known record label, which is not a little known label, was very big. And they sent me to, well, I met my A&R and I was in the studio and it was so crazy because I don't want to jump back there. I love where this conversation is going, but just very quickly, I didn't even sing in my normal voice. I always sang tenor because in church, even though I was like 10 years old when I was on like a soprano and I was always a soprano, I had a woman that was over the mass choir that just could not stand me. She hated me as a child. She was a grown woman and she hated me because she could see all of these gifts and anointings in me, and it just made her very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So her attitude was, you're going to sing tenor because that's where you belong. So all the way up until college, I sang tenor. I became the gospel choir, one of the youngest choirs on my college campus, the youngest directors on my of the choir on my gospel, like on the campus, and still singing tenor. And then I had to be medically withdrawn from college because I was diagnosed at 19 with bipolar 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder. So I had to be ripped out of school. And, going back home to a Black family, what is that? We don't know that. Therapy, what? Medication, what is that? So it took me many years. That's why people are like, well, there's this gap in her life. Well, yeah, I had to take 15 years of therapy and medication, and now I'm flaming.
Yeah.
Now I'm flaming. I'm the Phoenix now. But like, I didn't even use my own voice. Like, it was like I was like you said, I sang covers. I was the cover. Like I covered my voice. So it was just so crazy to see that. But back to what I'm saying, I expect huge things from you because, like my A&R said to me and the engineers and everything, you don't sound like anyone else. If you had sounded like anyone else, your career would not have this potential to really organically grow. They sat me down in the studio and explained that to me. The A&R, he asked me, when we were trying to craft my sound, it was, well, who are your 5 inspirations? Tell me who you listen to the most. And I said, Toni Braxton, because she's a Libra like me. I said, Anita Baker, because I can really sing Anita Baker really well.
I love Anita.
Yes. Anita Baker. Then it was David Bowie. Then it was Barbara Streisand, and she does like the legato. I have like a very high voice and she does like long legatos and stuff like that. And then the last one, who was the last one? I think the last one might have been India Arie. Yeah, I think the last one might have been India Arie. And he said, okay, you love all these people. So now what we're going to do is craft your sound out of all of these people.
Yeah.
And then, but that's the business of it. You see, not really my sound. Turns out to not really be my sound at all. And when you hear my music, you're going to be like, Wait till you hear it. You're gonna be like, India, Anita,
Yeah.
David,
Mm-hmm.
not this. So I remember them saying that to me, but they set me down and they said, listen, you have the potential to really make a splash because you're unique. Your
Mm-hmm.
sound is not something that people hear every day. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be, they say it's going to catch people. It's going to catch them off guard. And they're going to have that reaction to you at first. But if you keep singing, keep writing, we'll be able to get through that. And
Mm-hmm.
then they will respect you for having a unique voice. But it's
Right.
kind of crazy because now that I think of it, I should have said El DeBarge, but even with his voice, he sings a certain way. And with me being a countertenor, people would swear it was falsetto until I go through the roof.
Right.
And then it's like, oh,
Yep.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying all this to say this. What is your vocal classification?
In what way?
Like, are you tenor, countertenor? Because I swore you were a countertenor, contralto. Like, there these things happen in men. So,
Mm-hmm.
what would be your terminology? Like, what would be your classification as far as your vocal range?
Yeah. Uh, I think the highest note that I can hit is an A5.
Wow.
Um, but I just say I'm a high tenor,
Mm-hmm.
and I can I can slide into some really high notes.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, talk about influences. A lot of people assume that like my influences are like Michael Jackson and Prince
Not at
and
all.
Maxwell.
Nope.
My influences are Whitney, Patty, Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin, you know. Um, and I always say if Prince and Tina Turner had a child, then that's my voice because I got this raspiness that Tina has, and I can do that falsetto stuff. But as far as like technique, like the whenever people see me do that like low note into the A5, like
Yep.
it's like that. I got that from Patty in Over the Rainbow. You know what I'm saying? And so these divas and these legends of women those are the women that I learned to sing from. And if people see it like a little sassy black boy and assume Prince, but if you watch me close, that's Patty and the women. Those are the shoulders that I stand on.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so funny because I love what you said. You went there because those to the label were my influences.
Mm,
But you're right. Growing up, I had no male influences.
yeah.
My grandmother played Donna Summer. My grandmother played Patti LaBelle. Like
Yes.
I have this little known,
If only you knew.
wait, hey, mister, how's your daughter?
Right.
Okay. Like we
Mhm.
were into it. Excuse me. But you're right. Whitney, I remember covering I Will Always Love You
Yep.
on YouTube. And for months, the comments were, he's not singing. It's not real. That's not him. To, because my ear, I have a really good ear. I have really good pitch too.
Mhm.
So I could do them. And they would be like, the comments, that's not him. There's someone else in the room. He's lip syncing. He's
Oh,
this.
so you needed my mama in your comments.
But get it, it's okay now because God rest her soul, but I found my own voice.
Mhm.
God rest her
Mhm.
soul, but I found my own voice. But I am glad that you said that because I really feel that you're a countertenor.
A lot of people in comments say that,
Yeah,
and I think I probably am,
yeah.
but
Because even when you're
I want to.
speaking,
Mm-hmm.
you're in soprano right now.
Mm-hmm.
You really are. And we know that there's type two, there's two sopranos, mezzo and contralto, like a mezzo and coloratura. But you, like even in your speaking,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I would definitely say,
I'll take it.
yeah, I would, because I just watched you sing Tennessee Whiskey
Mm-hmm.
on your page. And
Mm-hmm.
literally you went, like you said, low, And then you went through the roof. And the funny thing was, I was looking because I was ready to jump in your comments about the drummer behind you.
Uh-huh. He was so bored. But
Yeah.
I have to come to his defense. That was one of my corporate bands because that's actually my bread and butter is I work for 4 corporate bands.
Okay.
And so in corporate bands, we play parties and
Yes.
wedding receptions and that kind of thing. And
Yes.
so he had already been playing for 3 hours straight.
Oh.
So my man's was tired. That was
Oh.
towards the end of the night. But I'm like, you never know when the camera on.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
wasn't mad at him, but I'm like, bro, they gonna get you.
Yeah, you see, I'm a positive person, but I was
Yeah,
ready to be in them but I refrained.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but I saw his, I'm like, this boy is doing amazing work, and your face ain't giving him what it needs to give him.
yeah. Well, because he didn't heard it, it's nothing new to him.
Right.
Yeah.
But very quickly, I want to segue because people do not understand that in the music industry, it's not just out front solo artists. You got so many different parts. Like you just said, I have 4 corporate bands that I perform with, so that's how you make your money to do all the other stuff you need to do. And then
Yeah.
I know you sung right. I know you have to song right. I know you do. I know you do. And I don't know if it's on a professional level, but it should be, because listening to your album, I'm just like your voice, like your voice is so unique. It's so unique. And I mean that in every praise way possible. And I'm so glad that you found the courage and the strength in yourself to be like, you know what? I'm going to sing despite what my mama, let me tell you something that hurts. Okay. When your mama says, baby, just dance,
Yeah.
especially a Black mama,
Mm-hmm.
it will hurt your soul
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Yeah.
So
And
the
that's
fact,
exactly what
yeah,
it did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for you to say, but I gotta do this because this is my passion,
Yeah.
like for you to go against your mama in some ways,
Yeah.
and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, as a fan and a supporter, thank you for not listening to your mama.
And this is the thing. I have to take responsibility for the fact that when people asked me to show whether or not I could sing good, I didn't sing well.
Right.
So
The nervousness, the being on the spot.
yeah, the being on the spot, it was like I would sound like crap. So of course, from a mother's job is to protect.
Right.
So she like not sounding like that, you won't,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you gotta, and so, but the thing is that I got over that because, and I asked my vocal coach, it was just like, how do I get over this? And he said, every time somebody asks you to sing, sing, no matter where you are. You know how people be trying to come up with excuses. And
yeah.
if you ask me to sing in the grocery store, I'm going to sing. If you ask me to sing anywhere. And as a result, it kind of started to build the confidence to just be able to do it. And I'm grateful that I still went for it too, because when you do have a different voice,
Mm-hmm.
it is hard, and I put myself in a category of, there are singers in this industry that like open their mouths and it's them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you hear Patty, when you hear Tony,
Yeah.
when you hear Fantasia,
Yeah.
that's their voice. And I put myself in that category where
Yeah.
it's like, don't nobody else sound like this. But
Mm-hmm.
it took years for me to get to this place where I appreciated that
Yeah.
I had this unique tone.
Yeah.
Because for so much of our lives, we always want what we don't have. And
Yes.
so like, I would love to be able to do all these runs like Duran and Avery Wilson and all of my other friends, but it's just like I only got what I got,
Yeah.
and guess what? It's enough.
It's enough. It's more than enough.
More than enough.
It is more than enough. Like even when you were talking, I was thinking about what my A&R said to my vocal coach. They sent me and they said, listen, we don't want you to touch his voice. We love the raw uniqueness and the pain in it. But we want you to give him confidence lessons. He needs to be able to stand on stage and emote like
Yeah.
that voice. And I thought about, like, I'm thinking about your voice. Like, I have other gifts. I do a lot. Shaman, prophet, oracle, seer, healer. I do a lot of spiritual things. And my thing is, I know that this voice that you are presenting to the world is going to be even more and more welcomed, because like you said, it's not R&B, it's rock, soul, pop, like it is. And we, how many black men we got in that category?
Yep.
Mm-mm. And I mean, really with enough, like you said, rasp and power. Because I've heard you hit notes and I'm like, this damn man could, he could sing for Aerosmith.
Yep.
Like you could cover those songs, Dream On, and like I'm looking like,
one of my favorite songs to sing is Separate Ways, a
ah,
Journey. I'm actually singing that next week at Whiskey A Go Go, this like famous
yeah,
rock club here.
nice,
Yeah.
congratulations.
But it's just like I love the rock stuff. But the thing is that especially as a black man,
Yes.
they always want to put boxes. So you look at me, first thing they be like, well, you black and you kind of attractive, so you sing R&B, don't you?
Right.
But then they see the chains around.
Why you say kinda? To get rid of that, I'm sorry, I had to stop you. Kinda attractive, kinda. You really gonna do that you gonna do that to me? You gonna really do that? We talk about this power. We talk about all this empowerment, and you really
yes.
No.
So you black and you black and you fine.
Yes, there we go.
So you sing R&B, don't you? Or they see the chains around my neck and they say, "Oh, so you a rapper?" It's like, first of all, I don't identify with any box. And honestly, I think it was like the generation before me, possibly your generation and before, that felt like everything needed a place. Our parents and our grandparents said, this is your religion.
Yeah.
This is your political party.
Yep.
This is your sexuality.
Yep.
This is what you will believe. Yep. This is how we do it.
Yep.
And first of all, I don't identify with one sexuality.
Right.
I don't identify with one religion.
Nope.
I always, whenever asked about my sexuality, I always say I do what I want.
Yeah.
And I won't even identify with bi, because sometimes I don't like either of the sex.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So I understand completely.
In a time where boundaries are being pushed, we got rappers carrying purses and wearing pink.
Yeah.
We got straight men wearing dresses at Fashion Week.
Yep.
It is a different time. And so as it pertains to music, you're not going to put me in this box as, oh, he got this church boy voice, so he needs to sing gospel, or he is an attractive man, so he is great for R&B. That's why I say it was rock, pop, soul, because my voice is too strong to be pop, which is why it's rock, but I sing from a deeper place called my soul.
Yeah.
And so it's just so important for me to and that's why you can go through several genres just within one song of mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's so crazy, to be honest, my music is published under pop, but I learned from my A&R.
Well, that's always the most frustrating part, releasing music. It's like, what genre do I even put this in? Why y'all got this right here?
They told me I had to start my own. It will become, as I grow, it will become more widely used and known and become an actual genre. But
what genre?
The style, I had to create it. I call it French twist. And there's a lot of things that are mixed in there. It's avant-garde showmanship, soprano, like tendency. And I like you'll wait till you see. Go when I'm gonna send you the link on your on Instagram in the DM. I'm gonna send you the deluxe album. Find Danger. Danger. You'll hear the vocal apparatus. You're gonna be like, oh, the acrobat. You're gonna be like, oh. And I recorded that whole album with an upper respiratory infection.
Wow.
And you couldn't tell. No, I was trained. I was
Well,
trained.
sometimes I love when I got a little something going on because
Yeah,
it makes my voice do things that it don't
yeah,
normally do.
exactly,
And I can take advantage of it.
exactly. And it's just like, so it's 2022.
Yep, here we
Enough,
are.
enough is out. You're a Grammy contender. What is on the roster as far as music for 2022?
Well, we continue the journey,
Yeah.
and I just want to say for the listeners
Yeah.
that by no means has it been easy for me.
Right.
We talk about all of these highlights,
Mm.
but I battle with anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and and doubt and fear to this day. It's why I've learned so much about it, because I'm constantly going through this journey of healing and persevering in the pursuit of my art. And in a place like LA, when you can be surrounded by people that are doing so well, at least you would think,
Yeah.
um, it can be frustrating. And it can also be frustrating when I run into beautiful people like you that say you have something.
Mm.
You are so talented. And this happens to me every time I sing anywhere. People pull me to the side and say, listen to me, you're special.
Yeah.
And so it can be frustrating to constantly hear that over and over and over again for years, but your life not fully reflect what it is that everyone else sees. Because what is happening is like, and my manager, he gets so irritated because we've had like big people, reach out to us, but nobody like makes a move. And
Right.
the real reason is because the industry is different. It used to be, we are going to find someone that is super talented. We're going to put all of this money into them and we're going to make them a superstar.
Yeah.
Now it's, we need to find somebody that has a lot of followers already.
Yep.
They're already touring. They're
Yep.
already got this many streams,
Yep.
so that we can predict the return on our investment. And hopefully they're talented, but if they're not, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Because we can make them sound whatever way we want them
we
to.
can do whatever we need to do, but at least we know they're selling already. So we ain't gonna lose no money.
Right.
And what happens with artists like me is that we kind of get overlooked. We don't get the opportunities, which is why I sing so strong and hard and I come in with presence, because it's like I've been doubted long enough.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna hear me.
Yeah.
And I think that is really my goal of this year, is just to be.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
I am here. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm going to release my art in my corner of the world. And what I know for sure is that even when you put a empty bucket under a dripping water fountain,
Oh,
eventually it will be overflowing with water.
yeah.
And I always tell people, even when you're taking baby steps, you're still moving forward.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to just be consistent and continue to do what I got to do, put out music, and we'll reach people more and more. And when opportunities show up, I'll show up for myself. I think that's really important for us to make sure that we always show up when the opportunity comes. What are you going to say?
No, no, no. I was waiting. I did that because you were saying something, but Spirit's talking to me.
Mhm.
So now, Alonzo, you have an album. Europe is still there.
Mhm.
You have an album. Your
Mhm.
own music.
Mhm.
Europe is still there.
It's so funny that you say that, and I already know that you hear from Spirit, and that is absolutely I mean, like I say, I speak about Tina Turner being my mom.
Yeah.
She went over there
Yes. And
uh,
did well.
and handled it. She was bigger than she ever was here, and
Ever.
that's how she became the legend that we know her as today. One of my corporate bands, the owners are actually from London. They just moved here 7 weeks ago,
Okay.
and he is crazy about me. Actually, the video of me singing Tennessee Whiskey is that band,
Okay.
and the owner was from London, was there that night.
Yeah.
And that was his first time seeing me live. And so long story short, ever since that night, he has just been so crazy about me. I'm performing in Cabo this weekend with that same band he's bringing me there. And so I have a feeling he's going to be my pathway to the UK. But if not, hopefully the door opens in another way. But I absolutely agree with you. And
I see you in a fur coat with a fur hat in Germany.
I will take it.
And
I love a little drama.
And you are singing. So my thing is, 2022, I'm getting goosebumps because that's spirit letting me know that I'm on the right track with what I'm seeing and saying. Be open to just going. Just make sure this year in 2022, you do what you do and you release your art in your part of the world. But you make sure that you can afford a round trip ticket wherever you got to go.
Got it.
Wherever. Because that's how it's going to happen. And the thing about it is, I see great wealth headed your way. And that is because, Alonzo, you're ready. You're ready. Spirit's telling me you're ready. And it's frustrating. And I want to tell you something too. As you were expounding and you were talking about LA and this is that and the other, remember, it's a corporate ladder. It's a game to them. It is really like, and people don't realize this. The music business is really not ran on stage. It's really run in an office, a physical building with 80 floors, and you got people running around with memos, and that's really what music is. The stage, most of them are so sick because they've covered music on the corporate side so much they don't even go to the show. They're like, we don't even want to see the finished product. We want to make sure everything was there. Catering was there. Lights were there. The security was there. The artist was there. The look. Did we get the TV spot? Did we get YouTube? So it's corporate. So what you need to do sometimes is step away from corporate America and remind them about the feeling. Yeah. And as you remind them about the feeling, then they start to reminisce about times that have passed. And as they do that, it's going to open a door for you. I see a lot of doors opening for you, though. I see a lot of doors opening for you, though. Yeah. But I just keep seeing you. And this image, it kind of looks, it doesn't look like it's America, but this is kind of like some kind of inaugural situation. Yeah. Yeah. So just be yourself and sing, boy. Sing, 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 because you are lacking nothing. Like you said, you do everything. I don't dance. I can dance, but I don't dance. And it's just like, because I'm 40.
Even at 30, I'm like, child, I twisted my ankle at the trampoline place the other day.
No.
I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, no. So give me 3 words that inspire you.
3 words that inspire me.
Yes.
Resilience. Faith. And I keep hearing fight. Because, a lot of people like to say, don't give up. And it's just like, for me, it's not about not giving up. It's just about continuing to fight.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference, because not giving up could still mean that you're just staying still. And for me, it's about just staying in the fight. And resilience is so important, because that just says that no matter what you go through, no matter what situation pulls you back, you can always bounce back.
Yes.
And I think that is, and your life is a testament to that too. You know, you are here.
Lord, and I shouldn't even be.
Mm.
I've been in jail. I've been everywhere
Mm-hmm.
because of mental illness when it was unchecked and unmedicated.
Mm-hmm.
And get it, today, my bipolar 1 is a superpower.
Mm.
It gives me an insurmountable amount of energy.
Mm.
I like coupled with my addictive personality, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what comes. But my addictive personality, I turn my addictions to work, the gym, my
Yeah.
craft, but no, but yeah, I wasn't, no, I wasn't going anywhere.
Mm.
I had times when I thought I was, at times when I was suicidal, but no. And what I did, I was talking to a colleague of mine in the fashion community. Her name is Diane Pernay. I
Mm-hmm.
interviewed her because I met her 17 years ago in Paris. She was an icon then. She's even more of an icon now in the
Mm.
fashion community.
Gotcha.
And just speaking to her, she said to me, because I met her face to face, and she sat not knowing me. This little black boy had long braids, and it was summertime, and she stopped and sat and talked to me for an hour at a metro station in Paris. Told
Mm.
me about her life, told me that she was from Philadelphia like me,
Mm-hmm.
and and all of that. And then to reach out to her because of that story, remind her of that story 17 years later, and then
Mm.
she give me an interview, and she doesn't interview with many people, but because she remembered the moment, she
Mm.
interviewed with me. And not only did she interview with me, but she looked at me, looked at all that I've done, and she said, "You figured it out."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "It wasn't easy."
Yeah.
She said, "I know, it never is. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to impart that to you. It's never easy, but I like that you know to fight. You will not be swept under the rug.
Mm.
Not that voice, not that beauty. No, not that soul, not that talent. Nope, no, you won't. But you do just have to be careful, because with the traditional mainstream record industry, they are, oh, can we use you? How long can we use you? Oh, we don't. They'll sign you to put you on a shelf, get you
Yeah.
out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get you out of the way. So
Mm-hmm.
you just be careful with that. I'm a stickler for that.
That's
Started.
why I'm calling forth that wealth that you
Yeah.
speak about.
No, I
Because
see it.
if I could just get the money,
I see it. But I see it being
yes, on my own,
euros. I see it being euros.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah. It's gonna be euros.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And the look on your face is just, I'm just looking at you as you use your gift, and you're outside. You know how they have the Russian hats and the Russian coat, but you're in Germany. And
Mm-hmm.
and one thing about that, that's so crazy, because now that I remember, Donna Summer really got her start in Germany.
Mm.
Donna Summer got her start in Germany. Yeah. Yeah, she went to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird to me that I just put that together. I remember that. But she got her start in Germany. Yeah, so you keep making your art. Please tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
So I am the most active on Instagram and TikTok. Every platform has a place.
Yep.
So I'm much more professional on Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok is where I kind of have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But everything is at Story of Alonzo.
Okay.
And if you want to hear music and see videos and different things, you just click on my link tree, which is in my Instagram bio.
Thank you so much, Alonso. I'm going to put all of the links below this video. I just want to thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to me. Before I go, I want I remember something you said, and I want to end our conversation with this, because I want to put it out there again.
Mm.
You were asked in an interview who you felt like you could be an artist or a talent under, and
Mm-hmm.
you said Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Please explain to us why you feel that Parkwood and Beyonce would be because I heard that rendition, but I want it here. Why
Mm-hmm.
you think that would be a good fit for you?
Well, birds of the same feather flock together. And I don't want to get in the way of what God may have planned for me. So I'm not just open. If it's not her, I'm not going to say no.
Right.
But regardless of whatever I do, I know that I want to be attached to greatness.
Yeah.
And I want to be attached to the greatness that is steadfast, the greatness that is stable.
Yeah.
If I don't know anything else, I know that the industry has had the power to tear apart certain people. And we've seen time and time again, some of our legends leave tragically. And so Beyonce is stable. People can say what they want about her, but she's flat on her own 2 feet.
Yep.
And that is the type of leadership that I wish to be mentored by, because I won't get lost in drugs.
Yeah.
I won't get distracted in partying or all of the other things that can come with the title. I want to stay focused but still live life and have a good time and enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I think that she's just a perfect testament to balance in every possible way of the word. You know, she balances family. She still believes in privacy. When it's time for her to show up, she shows up. And my biggest priority is respect.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, she has the respect of everyone in this industry.
Yep.
It's some haters out there that are just fans, but as far as this industry goes,
I'm like, we don't know them.
Yeah. As far as the industry goes,
Yep.
when she walks in the room,
Yep.
They love her.
Yep. And that wasn't easy. There's a lot that she has never been able to say when making deals and doing things. And
it's that value. It is that value in privacy still.
Yeah.
And it is something that, you know, the newer generation of artists, including myself, we're groomed to kind of not be so private. And I'm kind of
with social media.
We have to post and people got to know us and all of these things. And so I've had to find balance with that too. Like, how do I maintain a sense of privacy? But I already know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
When I get to where I'm going, then I can pull back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But right now, I think it is important that people hear my story.
Yeah.
And I use that as a voice and as a vessel to inspire people to continue to do their thing too, especially Black men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are a consummate artist and I applaud you. And I look forward to watching you continue.
Well, I want to take this moment to just say thank you. I have not always been given the opportunity to be heard. So I'm always so full when I get these opportunities to speak to people like you, and your energy and your beauty is just so magical. And I wish you nothing but the best too. You got a new friend. And I mean, I've seen you comment on things and stuff, but you just never know who is who. People be talking to you on social media, so many different people. So now I can put a face to it. And I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for you.
Too, darling. So say goodbye to these people, but don't go nowhere. I'm gonna stop it. Okay. Bye, people. Oh wait, I have to say my line. See, COVID. I'm trying to. Yeah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You have heard the vocal stylings of Alonzo. There we go.